Hello everyone, my name is Lowko and welcome back to a professional match of StarCraft 2. Now what I've got for you today is a Zerg versus Terran, my favorite matchup in the game, played right here on the map Zen. Spawning here in the bottom left hand corner, playing with the red Zerg drones from South Korea, we're looking inside of the main base of Dong Ray Gu, or well, am I a boomer now? He abbreviates his name these days to DRG. Am I a StarCraft 2 boomer? By pronouncing his entire nickname? That doesn't really matter. Anyways, his opponent in the opposite corner playing with the blue Terran SCVs from France. And playing for Team Liquid, we have none other than Clem. Alrighty, so here we go. Zerg versus Terran, always a lot of fun. I always enjoy watching this matchup. There's so much variety when it comes to the different strategies and whatnot that players can go for. Looks like both players, though, opening up a very, very standard barracks right here on top of the ramp, followed up by a gas geyser, and in the meantime on the other side of the map we do have that hatchery going down on the low ground. That doesn't mean that that both players are going to be playing a full-on macro game. They don't have to, but this is certainly the gold standard. DRG actually playing very, very safely right here as well with his first two overlords. Oftentimes what we see with the first overlord is it being sent straight across the map to figure out exactly what the opener of Terran is going to be. But instead DRG right now sending his overlords in a bit of a different pattern. This way, if there were to be a proxy barracks on his side of the map, he would be able to find it out pretty quickly. Assuming he actually spots it, right? I mean, there's still some... Well, nah, I don't think he can actually hide it over here. So this is pretty much perfect. Obviously, it can't build on ramps. So I'm pretty sure, yeah, unless it would obviously be out here, I'm pretty sure he would spot like, I don't know, 80% or so of the proxy barracks coming up. Now, this SCV scout over here already confirms to him as well that it's not going to be a proxy opener. Otherwise, Terran would be very, very late with the proxy, right? So it is going to be a Reaper, likely followed up then as well with a Marine. And now, is Clem going to try and block the third base? Yeah. That seems to be the case. So, just like I explained a couple of days ago in a Zerg versus Protoss that I casted, this is a thing that's super, super popular right now in the Zerg versus Terran matchup. Essentially forcing Zerg players to take either like this base, I guess is their third, or to open up with two bases for the time being, and then taking the third a little while later. In Zerg versus Protoss, oftentimes the natural gets blocked. Right now it's really, really common in Zerg versus Terran for the third base to be blocked instead. A little bit of a skirmish here. Marine already out, so that one's going to be hunting down any overlords that might get a little bit too brave. 6 Zerglings here. That's actually quite a lot. Normally we see 4. So that's an extra drone right here being spent apparently. I'm not entirely sure if that's a response to seeing that SCV scout or if he's actually just doing this on purpose. But you can already see, right, this is just throwing DRG off a little bit. Queens are forced off the creep as well. They're going to be potentially even missing an injector. Well, eventually the third base comes up. This is also something that Clem actually wants. Like, Clem doesn't really... Well, I'm assuming anyway, he doesn't really want to play against the two-base Zerg. But he wants to take the third base, or wants the Zerg, rather, to take the third base at his discretion, right? Delayed, but not, you know, completely skipped. Because if you have to deal with all of a sudden two-base Zerg, the game becomes very, very different. All of a sudden, you might have to deal with super quick Mutas, or maybe like a quick Nidus Worm, or all kinds of two-base shenanigans. So you kind of want him to take a third base, but you also don't want him to take it right when they want to, right? So you just want to throw them off a little bit. Anyways, standard follow-up right here as well from Clem. So he went 1 barracks, then 1 factory, and then a 1 starport. He's got 1 reactor, pumping out 2 of those Hellions at once, and then the tech lab right now has been put on that starport, so the starport is going to be able to... I already see a little shadow coming over here, but the starport is going to be able to start producing Banshees, and now also go for the Banshee cloaking research. Now, excellent scout right here by DRG, so that first Overlord, the one that was scouting initially for a bunch of proxy barracks, is now going all the way around the main base, and it sees literally everything. Now, will any of these upgrades be cancelled? I highly doubt it. Double Tech Lab obviously indicates that it is going to be a bio follow-up as well, so already the Stimpack research has been started up, and while technically speaking right now, Clem could go ahead and like cancel all of these upgrades and then completely mix it up. That's going to slow his build down quite a bit, right, if he wanted to do that. So I do think that he's just going to let all of this finish. Yeah, so the first Banshee is out, second Banshee coming up, Cloaking Field will be coming up as well. Now, there is an argument to be made, though, to cancel that Banshee production. Because, I mean, you've already dealt the damage, right? So the Spore Crawlers are already forced. Obviously, they serve more value than just shooting at Banshees. But you can definitely just cancel it and get the resources back. And since Zerg has scouted it, they will have to go for those Spore Crawlers pretty much regardless. well, still gets an extra worker kill here. I don't really expect him to get all too much. In the meantime, by the way, on the side of the Zerg, we do see that one evolution chamber blocking this secondary entrance into the natural. I quite like that. Brenda over here as well, ready to shoot some spines. Baneling desk coming up. Lair is started up at about 5 minutes as well. Very, very normal. Just squeezing out as many workers as he possibly can right now. Third command center started up at about, I think, like 4:20, 4:30 or so, which is also considered to be very normal. And honestly, we have like a nice little macro game on our hand. I guess we'll have to see exactly what DRG wants to go for once he arrives at Lair Tech. Oh, well, this is quite a bit of damage over here. One of these sport plotters apparently now moves forward. Is that a fourth sport plotter? I guess it might have been. Zerglings in the meantime, though, are cleaning up most of the Hellions. Looks like the Banshees will be repelled as well. But I do think that, yeah, 3 queens, wow. I actually thought it was only 2, but 3 queens apparently were picked off during all of that, which is a nice little bit of harassment for sure. Now, since he didn't kill the tumors, this creep spread is not going to be slowed down very much. Just take like a mental snapshot, okay? Look at the minimap and then see where it's at in like 3 minutes time. It's going to be much further. If he would have killed the queens and then also sniped a couple of the tumors, I would have liked this quite a bit better. Right now, obviously, those queens can be rebuilt, but here we go. So there's the Hydra transition, and then there's also the Muta transition. It looks like DRG opts to go for the style that he used to play all those years ago. It is going to be Mutaling Bane versus good old Bio Terran. This is the classic Zerg versus Terran approach. It's my personal favorite, actually, to watch. Very, very difficult to play, actually, from both sides. So, for example, if you play the Hydraling Bane style, you don't really need to micro nearly as much. When you play the Mutaling Bane style, though, I mean, you gotta be so careful with your Mutalisks. They can be gone very, very easily. And on the other end as well, obviously, with Terran Bio, I mean, you always have to micro Terran Bio an awful lot. This is one of the things that Clem is very, very good at. Here he comes, rather, with his very first big push. Absolutely gets shut down. No real damage done whatsoever. I wonder if he wants to stick around right now on Siege Tank production. I wouldn't mind seeing him switch on over to Widowmine production instead, as soon as he sees the Mutas. Bailing speed at this point, though, already finished as well, so Clem is going to have a very hard time getting anything done. Now, imagine if those tumors would have been sniped earlier. I mean, then this 4th base would have been very, very tricky to hold on to. So, nicely done so far by DRG. Simply expands towards the 4th and just continues macroing up. So there we go. 7 Mutas already on the production tab. This is something that I don't think Clem knows about just yet. Where's the Spire, actually? We looked at it earlier. Oh, it's over at the 3rd base, okay. I don't think this is something that has been spotted. No. Okay, so whenever we see these kinds of unit compositions, right? Yeah, it can come down to the really, really big detonations. A lot of it, though, is tempo. So if you manage to absolutely crush your opponent's army, be it the Terran or be it the Zerg, right? You can oftentimes continue pushing as well for a little while longer, because it takes your opponent a while to get a foothold once again. So if Terran keeps on like losing a couple of units just like that, Zerg can maybe just go ahead and move across the map and kill everything. Because Terran obviously needs a couple of production rounds before they will actually be able to get those resources and those units out once again, right? Same can be said, though, for Zerg. If Zerg loses a big clump of Banelings and Zerglings, or maybe a bunch of the Mutalisks, Terran can oftentimes get a tempo advantage that way and just continue pushing for a little while longer. Now, it is going to be that Widowmine transition. This one, though, certainly won't get anything done, but there we go. The Drilling Claws upgrade is going to finish up in just a little bit. And I like this. A Thor coming up right now at this point in the game as well. Thors are absolutely amazing against Mutas if Mutas are not microed. So they kind of suck against Mutas if the Mutas are microed well. So we'll see what ends up going down here over the next couple of minutes. This could certainly be a game-deciding moment here in just a little bit, depending on how the next, how the big next engagement goes. Hello. Okay, I was gonna say that one shouldn't get all too much done. All right. So Clemdo just simply macroing up. Does he already have a 4th command center? He does. There it is. Floating on over to the southern position. Some Terran players decide to go for the one over here, but I'm not a big fan of that against Mutas either. It's very easy for the Zerg player to harass those. Usually you want to expand, you know, a little bit more vertically in places where you can easily get your army to the correct location as well. Now, DRG, does he want this planetary fortress to go up? Because usually the 4th base is going to be the planetary. If he can fight this, oh my god, he's actually going to go for the natural instead. I love this. All of the Terran units are currently over at the 4th base. There he goes, blows up the supply depot, basically like a 10-minute bunker, or rather, oh my god, Ooh, whoa. All right, that could have been a disaster. That was like a 10-minute Baneling bust right there. That's what I was trying to say before I started commentating in action sounds. 9 SCVs going down. That could have been the entire mineral line. That could have been like 19 or 9 or 29 very, very easily. All right. Little bit more harassment over here. Ooh, there we go. Good with a mine connection as well. Double missile turret. I'm a fan. That means that the planetary finishes, and this is going to be a lot harder to push into right now for the Zerg player. 5th base, though, has been acquired right now, and the Mutas are back home, since the Terran right now is sitting out onto the creep. Now, what Clem wants here is for this Zerg player to engage him. Is he actually going to do it? Oh my god, he's going to be fighting off creep. This creep is going to disappear very, very quickly. Muta already taking a little bit of damage right there from that Thor. Thor have a lot of damage. At the same time, a couple of Zerglings trying to get some damage done. And despite them breaking the natural position over here, only a handful of workers go down. Yeah, that certainly was not a favorable trade there at all for the Zerg player. Although I would love to see just a supply depot or something over here. There it is. Thank you very much, Clem. Appreciate it. All right. Now, this is usually one of the ways that Terran can really get an advantage, right? So look at Zerg. They are going up towards a hive right now, which is actually quite an expensive decision to make here for the Zerg player. Is he even going to try and roll some units right now into that planetary fortress? Oh my god, if you're going to commit, you need to commit hard. Is that going to be enough? I don't think so. Nah, that's not enough. That is not enough. Oof. And that's a lot of units right there actually going down for the Zerg player. Anyways, he just went all the way up towards the hive. At the same time, he's pushing over here in the center of the map, threw away quite a couple of units. And I think after he cleans this up, which is nicely done here, Clem overstaying is welcome. This would be the moment for the Zerg player to start up the 3-3 upgrades. At the same time, a little bit of a drop here in the top left-hand corner, trying to deal some damage as well. Ugh. Yeah, this one will certainly be cleaned up, and there we go. Now that he's got a little bit of breathing room, DRG starts up the 3-3 upgrades as well. Oftentimes what we see with the Mutalisks Bane style is that the Zerg... Oh my god. Oh my god, no! Wow. Oftentimes what we see with the Mutalisks Bane style is the Zerg player sitting around on lair tech for quite some time. So they basically don't tech up towards a hive nearly as quickly. And oftentimes what it ends up being is that the Terran is going to finish up 3-3 before the Zerg is even thinking about 3-3, right? So that can be a disaster. This is still going to be about, I would say like a 20 to 30 second timing window though, where Clem is going to have those upgrades and Zerg won't. It's going to make his army significantly better, right? Because he's going to have a lot of Marines and they all benefit from those upgrades. Now, these couple of Widow Mines in the center of the map, they need to be cleaned up. They're going to continuously deal damage here. So that's 8 on these already and 9 and 22 kills on these two right over here. It's a lot of damage. Okay, here come the Muta. Mutas, you guys need to clean this up. There we go. Second group over here as well, but they have certainly paid for themselves already. Alrighty, so Ultralisk transition actually as well. So DRG gonna go for the Ultras. I don't know, man. So Ultras are one of those units that are really good if you want to lose. That's the joke I've been making on stream for quite some time. But really, if you don't really know how to use Mutas properly, you're probably better off not using Mutas, man. They're super good at accidentally losing you the game. Now, big engagement over here in the bottom right-hand corner. Looks like only one little bit of anti-air remains, but here come the Marines stimming down the ramp. Once again, DRG dives on one of those expansions and does not get the kill. Alrighty, so Clem right now has got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bases. That's great. He'll probably try and take this one as well. Maybe go for the one right here on the low ground. Since he has been containing the creep relatively nicely right now as well, and he's got those anchors to fall back to, right? He can start little hit squads like this. If he needs to, he can just run back to the planetary fortress. A couple of Widow Mines will certainly slow this down. This is a really, really nice position for the Terran player to be in. Beautiful splits as well by the Frenchman. Great stuff here. Marauders in the front, trying to take some of those Baneling hits, but I think that might just be a little bit too much, although another Thor does walk up. This one already has 11 kills, prioritizing air here. The Mutas, okay, they are gonna magic box on top of his army. At the same time, a drop apparently happened in the top left-hand corner. One of the Ultras is gonna start working on some of these as well, but that is now about 50 workers or so that have gone down in total in this game. Anyway, so Ultras, I mean, since Terran is already going Marauder Medivac, Widow Mine, right? Like, they're already going Marauder Medivac Mine, so basically any unit that starts with the letter M. They're already making like Thors and Marauders, right? And those units are pretty good against Ultras. They're not great, not as good as Liberators are against Ultras. But what I'm trying to say is that, like, by default already, this Terran composition has a good counter here to Ultras. And at least in my experiences, Ultras never really seem to get much done. Ultras are really, really good when you're already ahead. So say like you're ahead in this position, right? Terran is late on their upgrades because they had to delay them. Or maybe Terran is like, just in like an unfortunate position because they had to hold on and they're very like marine tank heavy or something like that, right? At that point, Ultras can be super good. But against this, I'm not a huge fan unless Terran just clumps up all of those units together, right? Unless they clump up everything together. Now, while this engagement is happening over here, we once again see a Zerg hit squad moving towards the bottom right-hand corner. Are you gonna have enough this time around? Target firing, actually, I think, with the Planetary Fortress is Clem. Ooh. Okay, I think it will be picked. No. No. Will it not be? Oh my god. No way. Yeah, no, these SCVs are out repairing it. Well, there we go. Small group of Marines and Marauders stims down, and once again, that base lives. Now, in the meantime, also a lot of drones were killed. Oh, alright. There's Widow Mine drops happening at this point in the game. Excellent actions right here by Clem. Look at the APM, by the way, man. You have to be so fast. At the same time, though, once again, here's wave number 74 towards the bottom right-hand corner. And finally, DRG gets himself a Planetary Fortress kill. But, I mean, that must have been the most expensive Planetary Fortress to kill ever. He might even get some of his units cut off right now as well. Yeah, look at that. Oh, my god. Look at that Ultra. It just melts. And that's not even units that are really supposed to be countering Ultras. Usually, it's the Ghosts and then, you know, the Liberators and stuff that are really, really good. Trying to actually hold on to these Banelings right now. Clem could have tried to jump on it. Only just now getting himself the Concussive Shell upgrade. That's kind of ironic. That's the Marauder upgrade. Usually we see that one quite a bit earlier. Must have realized he wasn't slowing down any of those Lings and Lings and Banes. Mutas trying to get some damage done. Good bit of micro here as well. But once again, the defense right here by Clem has been amazing. Like I guess his harassment has been good as well, but I'm really, really a big fan right now of his defense. I mean, you can lose SCVs. That's not really a problem. You can replace those very easily, but losing... Oh my god, once again, a massive engagement here. And the Zerg, man. Yeah, the Zerg is now forced to fight off creep. The Queen's joining in as well, trying to transfuse those Ultras. Got a feeling that this base will fall. Great defense. A great, like, attack here once again by Clem, fighting off creep, forcing this engagement. My god, his splits are becoming insanely good. Anyways, I'm a big fan of... well, the way that he's defending so far, is what I'm trying to say. Looks like with the Mutas returning, though, maybe this is going to be an army that will be forced all the way back home. Here's the reinforcing Terran force. And they're going to continue this harassment for a while longer. As long as DRG doesn't get creep in this area, he's going to have a very hard time holding on to these bases. He needs to get more creep down. Clem knows it right now as well. He scans. And confirms exactly what's going on. Planetary Fortress over here, though. You can't really harass that. Now, you're not going to be able to get anything done over there. Okay. I'm liking this a lot for the Terran player. Can we start a petition to rename the Ultralisk to Average Lisk? Or, like, Mediocre Lisk? Or, like, I don't know if their name... like, I don't know. They're not really worthy of the name Ultralisk. They don't feel ultra to me at all. They feel like mediocre Lisk at best, okay? Anyways, here's the Terran player once again, moving forward. Scatting, constantly killing those tumors, putting the Widow Mines in good spots. There's a little bit of anti-air still available. That one missile turret over there can easily be surrounded. I think it mostly comes down here to this fight over here, though. Widow Mines in the mineral line! Oh my god, goodbye to the Mutas. They're gonna be picked off. Nice move there by Clem. Moves very deep onto the creep once again, but his splits are insane, man. Look at this. Negating so much of the splash damage of those Banelings. And here's another Ultra. Or, I mean, mediocre Lisk getting absolutely shut down. Most of the Mutas are right now gone as well. How many Mutas? Oh yeah, we're just talking this single one. There's just one Mutalisk at this point in the game. Now, don't get me wrong, though. This is an extremely difficult army composition to control properly here for Clem. But, I mean, Ultras are kind of like carriers, you know? You can't really micro them, you just sort of attack move them, and that's it. Your best micro is setting up the engagement and then attacking. Whereas for, like, I don't know, other late game units, they can get so much more value. Look at these splits. So Ultras and Banelings deal splash damage, right? So obviously Ultras cleave all within like that little radius in front of them. And yeah, as long as you split up your units, oh my god, or pull them into chokes like that, you're just not going to be able to get that much value. At the same time, top left-hand corner, a drop ended up killing one of these hatcheries again. Clem is playing a phenomenal game here. While still behind in the supply count, this is one of those moments where Zerg starts running low on money. Right, so he does still have this base. I'm actually quite impressed that this base is still up and running. If this base was killed, I think this would have been pretty much a disaster for the Zerg. He needs to get more bases up, though. Terran ended up losing a lot of SCVs as well, but he's going to be able to drop those mules and continue getting more income here relatively easily. Also, right now, floating over the main command center towards this location here. There is a Zergling blocking that, so that will be spotted immediately. Maybe this is going to be a position where DRG can actually get some proper fights in. That would be really, really nice. If you can expand the creep a little bit further, he can easily fall back to that and potentially get some damage in. This is also the moment, though, where DRG is trying to force the attention of the Terran player into different locations. Now, this is great, though. No planetary fortress here anymore because that one was killed. And apparently, ooh, it was replaced with an orbital command. That means that these mules will get picked off. Well, he was threatening to push up north, and then he engaged down south instead. Obviously, Zerg, extremely mobile at this point in the game. They're going to be able to dart from the top section of the map all the way towards the bottom section very, very quickly. Clem, though, I mean, he's going to be forced to pick up that one Zergling. He's now also, once again, harassing the top left-hand corner. This is going to be one of those games where, yeah, it comes down to how efficient these players trade and how good their armies are, but it also very much so will come down to who's mining more resources. When it comes to resources lost so far, you can see Zerg absolutely getting smashed there, man. Look at the cost efficiency right here of these Terran units. The advantage, though, that Zerg has is that they're mining more resources, right? This base, though, over here, I mean, the drones are being picked off. The hatchery will certainly fall as well. That's 21 additional workers, and we're actually approaching like 100 and... Well, I'm not even going to make a count there. I'm not even going to try, dude. Math in a video, not even once. Okay, but we're getting a lot of work kills this game. That's what I'm trying to say. Creep spread once again cleared out at the same time. Looks like, ooh, the Zerglings actually get a decent engagement. Luckily here for Terran, he was reinforcing with a couple of the Widow Mines as well. Lynx right now spread towards the third base, but I mean, there's only a handful of SCVs there to kill. Well, only a handful of mineral patches actually remain there. Nicely done here. That's a lot of Ultralisks. There's really not that much Terran anymore. 106 army supply here for the Terran. Where is all of it? Where's all of that Terran army supply? I guess it's spread around the map. These Ultras, they need to be pushed together. Okay, falling back to the safety of the planetary there is Liquid Clem. These Ultras are running very, very low. He's trying to target fire some of them down as well. The Queens, not meant for this world, will be picked off once again as well. Couple of Zerglings. Oh my god, long distance mining over here because of that one Zergling on hold position. Cheeky, cheeky. Is it not just worth getting Burrow at this point? I would like to just see a Zergling Burrow there instead. Maybe it's also because I sometimes panic and hit the old army hotkey, but... Alright, so... This base over here is going to be the lifeline right now, though, for the Terran player. And I say that, and the Zerglings immediately stream in. This is an insanely good game right now, though. This is very, very close. Supply count, pretty much even. I do like this position, though, quite a bit here for the Terran. How many Medivacs is that? That is 12 Medivacs. Since there's no anti-air anymore, these Medivacs are getting a ridiculous amount of value. These Medivacs could certainly be the stars of the show. Maybe mixing in a couple of Corruptors would be nice, but at this point he can't really afford it anymore. Very little income here for the Zerg. He did retake the top left-hand corner, so a little bit of mining over here. Did also retake the base over here, but this one's going to be so difficult to hold. Still, though, because Zerg is constantly maneuvering between the bottom section and the top section of the map, Clem has to make a call where he wants to locate his units. I guess it is going to be the top position because this base is actually up and running. I guess he's mostly given up on the base over here. But if you give up on this for too long, obviously the Zerg player will move in that direction instead, right? He could try and take this expansion, actually. If he can clear out the creep, this is a lot of damage that he can do. Once again, Ultras off creep. I don't like it, man. I'm not a fan. Here we go. This is the big engagement. Apparently, DRG does want to take it. Good split so far on the bio units as well. Some of the Marines here are actually fake Marines. They're changelings. But those Medivacs, they're just healing up all of those wounded units so very quickly. Zerg right now, much lower health than they were at the beginning of this fight. Terran pretty much full HP once again. 2 Ultras fall. Nicely done right there by Clem. Zerglings, though, in the meantime, engage the base up north. Zerg does now secure once again that base down south, so that's really, really nice. Concussive shell being used right there, but not enough to kill that one Zergling. Yeah, I like this. This is great. I would have loved to even see this be a planetary fortress. If he could make a planetary over here, that would be insane. Zerg sees this. Oh, actually, he doesn't see this. I was gonna say, like, I thought he could maybe see that with the edge of his creep. Okay, now he will figure it out. Okay, if you wouldn't have noticed that, that would have been an absolute disaster. Still, are you still gonna be able to fight this, though? If the Widow Mines get into good positions over here, this is gonna be very, very difficult to pull off. At the same time, reinforcing Marines, apparently, with 2 Medivacs also make their way towards the bottom left-hand corner. Still, fully upgraded Zerglings don't mess around, and they're going to be able to kill that as well. Bit of a desperation move right here by DRG. He wants to try and see if he can prevent his base from going up and running. And indeed, by killing the command center, despite there being no anti-air, Clem was a little bit late on the liftoff. He does kill the base, and he does kill a bunch of workers as well. But at what cost, though? That was a very expensive set of units to lose. Not worth really jumping on this hatchery, to be honest, because there's no mining over here anyway. Guess it's still a production facility, so you may as well pick it off while you're here. But I like this. Getting rid of the creep is here absolutely amazing. Is it worth picking up maybe and getting out of there? It is. Okay. Yeah, the Banelings and the Ultras, they can deal a lot of damage very, very quickly. Falling back to the planetary fortress once again. 2 empty Medivacs apparently in a pool across the map too. DRG does have quite a bit of income again. Goes after the SCVs up north. This could still be either player's game, although I'm liking this position for Clem quite a bit. Ultras, oh my god, Banelings connect over there. 22 additional SCVs go down, and that now brings the total to pretty much 200. 200 worker kills in one game. That's pretty insane. That is pretty ridiculous. I guess that Clem has just given up mostly harassing the bottom section of the map. I'm a little bit concerned about that. He right now confirms that this base is not taken, so he knows that this is going to be one of the last mining bases here for the Zerg. A couple of links in the meantime. Oh my god, there's a lot of Widow Mines though. They're going to be able to clean all of that up. Easy peasy. Finally, this base is now taken here for Clem, and I don't really see what Zerg could do against it. He's making more Banelings, which is great and all. But fighting off creep is getting worse as this game progresses. Clem has been showcasing some amazing micro when it comes to controlling these units and just simply splitting them up against the splash units of the Zerg. A couple of infestors are being added on right now as well, so I guess he's looking for maybe like a lucky fungal growth. Apparently though, I think the rally point for reinforcements has been set up over here. Terran wants to start engaging towards the south. If he can kill one of these 2 bases, that's gonna pretty much like put the nail in the coffin, I think. Because there's really not that much mining here for Zerg whatsoever. Terran does still have mules. At the same time, Zerglings engaging over there. I thought for a second maybe they were the Banelings that we saw morphing in earlier, but that's not quite the case. GG is called, and Liquid Clem obtains the victory in a very, very well played game. I hope that you enjoyed watching this video. If you did, make sure you hit that like button down below. If you want to see more, hit subscribe so you get notified as soon as future videos go live. It is quite noticeable though, right, that the Zerg late game is not nearly as strong as it once was. You know what I would like to see them do to the Ultralisk? And maybe this is a little bit of Zerg bias coming in, okay? I play mostly Zerg myself, but I would like them to give them the Infestor treatment. Remember when they made the Infestor like 20% smaller? Just the actual unit model? Make the Ultralisk a little bit smaller as well. That way they wouldn't like derp so much and get stuck on each other and on a bunch of Zerglings and stuff. Or maybe make them like Colossi, where they can walk over Zerglings. That would be cool too. That way at least the AI on the unit would be a little bit smarter. I think that would be a pretty elegant solution, right? And if making them 20% smaller is too much, make them 10% smaller, right? It's one of those numbers that's very easy to tweak. Anyways, let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. For now, though, I want to thank you for watching. Have an amazing day. Don't forget to smile. And I'll see you once again in the next one.